Wholeness. This is just another perspective reading, and this one I'm going to pull in from multiple perspectives because as a reader, you can pull a card and you can already use what you think something is and misconstrue whatever you've seen on the card and make it fit whatever you already think it is. But it becomes harder when you use multiple cards to discern the same question, because if the same correlating energy comes up, it kind of begs the question of, are you skewing the reading, or is this just what shit potentially really is? So one thing I notice is everybody is now starting to get a little bit deeper into numerology, but I'm also noticing that you're bringing your same levels of taint into it too. It's no different than people who leave organized religion and try and go into spirituality. You try and use what didn't make sense to you and bring it into what you don't really understand, and use what you could not understand to make sense of what you don't understand, if you understand. So just think of it simply. When you're dealing with vibrations, when you talk about numbers, you don't just automatically start at 1. You have to progress to 1. A lot of people for centuries have argued, do you start with 0? Do you start with 1? You have to start with nothing in order to get to something. The whole problem with that is, though, 0 is more than nothing. 0 is everything. So you can't just start at 1. 1 is already a number that has already established value. You get it? 1 is already at a value. 0 is the origin point. Zero in on your weapon. That means, boom, I'm going to hit the bullseye. So we're going to use my cards, the higher perspective oracle, but we're also going to use the divination of ancients. So I'll just ask a generic and simple question. What is the most likely, I can't say accepted, the most likely meaning of the vibrations, starting with 0? So I'll shuffle each deck and then I'll just ask the question, what is 0? What is 1? But like I said, we'll pull 1 from the divination of the ancients, and then we'll pull 1 from my cards, the higher perspective oracle, and we'll just see if they meet in the middle or if they counter each other, which is fine. That's the basis of duality. That's the field of separation. So what is 0? Pulling from the divination of the ancients, 0, and this is in reverse, this is the mystical. It's in reverse, the clouds, the mystical. So this is what's before you start getting to the mystical. Again, think about it. 1 is a magician. The magician is somebody who's already learned magic. Where'd the magic come from? And if you sit there and say, oh, it was already within him, then that means before he learned to activate it, there was something already there. Before there was 1, there was something already there. So this is clouds in reverse, and the word is mystical. This is pre-mysticism. Mysticism, that knowledge bullshit. Magic. So my deck, what is 0? It's your motivation. 2 plus 8, 10. It's really a perspective. It is 2, I'm connected, to 8, what's about to get me in struggle. Again, you hear me say it's a perspective, and I tell you all the time, look at the 8. The 8 is nothing but 2 zeros. It's duality. So I'm seeing in duality. The 0 can be something or nothing, as I said a few minutes ago. And this is the sea hag, the siren, the voice in your head, the queen of waters. What's going to influence me to create? What's going to influence you to create? Think about them clouds. You're about to create a storm. You're about to give up your waters. What's going to influence you to give up your waters is whatever's motivating you. So it's that perspective. That perspective is the source of motivation. So moving on, not to draw this out too long, what is 1? In the magical sense, we look at 1 as the magician, 1 is the alchemist, 1 is the illusionist, 1 is the person who already has knowledge. Again, 0 is awareness. Before you can have knowledge, you need to be aware of what you know, or else you just flying by the seat of your pants. So number 1, divination of ancients. Palmistry. The word is interpretation. Remember, I just got through telling you, however you discern things, that perspective, however you interpret the signs, That's going to be your source of power. So one is really just however you interpret. One is potential. However I interpret the use of that energy will become. The trick is, however you interpret the energy, however you interpret the potential, will now become the source. It'll become the source because that's really where you're investing at. So asking my deck, the higher perspective, what is a one? One becomes God. Same shit I just said. One becomes source. Only in this sense, it's already a reduction. A God can play source, but it can never be source. Take that for how you want it. It's 3 and becomes 4. The thought, 3 becomes the only thing I focus on. So 3 plus 4, 7, the thought becomes what I am. The thought becomes the I am. But in that analogy, intelligence, awareness, and movement, remember I told you before you can have intelligence, you need to have awareness. In this analogy of the I am, God, something is already telling you what to be aware of. Same shit. One is not source. One can just emulate source's energy and play the part. So moving on to 2. What is 2? The runes in reverse. And the word is perception. However you perceive it. Think about our eyes. Whatever you see, your perception. But in human anatomy, the eye sees things in reverse and the mind flips the image upside down. We see shit upside down. But yet you can't tell nobody that. So your runes, and again, the runes is a source of knowledge. Your source of knowledge and your perception will be the only thing you see. Same shit you hear me say all the time. You used to hear me say all the time. Knowledge gets you fucked up. That what you think you know will be the only thing that you're going to invest in. So what is 2 by my cards? 2 is a 2. 2 is the high priestess. It is your connection to something that's greater than you while you try and play great within yourself. This is you swimming in the waters with a shark. This is what owns your water. Remember, we started over here with the voice that is influencing your waters. Yo, 2, the only thing you connected to is the shit you think you know. And in most people's cases, is the connection to something they think that is working for them more than they're working for themselves. Number 3, the coins in reverse. Abundance. You are in search of your abundance. But the problem with this is, in search of your abundance, you now need to invest in something that you think is going to show it to you, and those are your thoughts. If I don't see myself as enough, I will need to think my way into that mentality. So the coins in reverse, it's your currency. Think about that word, currency. Currently seeing. Whatever I am currently seeing, that 2, that'd be the only thing I think about. My 3. The only thing I think about. That 1 in reverse, wherever you gave your potential to. Your potential will manipulate you. So in this sense, 3 is that magician that's already under manipulation. The thought has already told you what to invest in. So moving on to number 4. What is 4 by divination of the ancients? Numerology in reverse. Precision. In this sense of precision, where you hear me say the universe speaks in vibrations and sequences, this is where all of the energy pulls up and actually manifests. You can shoot a weapon down range, but if you don't have precision, you'll never hit your target. Well, you won't hit your target successfully. So in the sense of numerology, where I tell you numerology is basically the universe's language, if I understand that language based off of what it is and not what I want it to be, then I can learn to manifest precisely. Again, with this being number 4, at this point, you're already in a trap. In this numerology reading right here, you're already in a trap because you're using the system of dissection to put yourself back in wholeness. The system of dissection has already performed its function, keeping you pulled apart. What do you mean keeping you pulled apart? Number 4, keeping you pulled apart is the devil card. It's only going to help you find what you already told yourself you want to see. I want to find myself in this field of separation and find the greatest source of wholeness. So the number 4 becomes your devil. The number 4 becomes, holy shit, all the potential will help you move, and then maybe you'll find yourself. Remember what just happened right here? The potential told you to become 5, move, 5, the Hierophant. So by the divination of the ancients, the vibration for 5, which I always tell you is manifestation and manipulation and amplification and stillness. Anything that tells you to make a value for those motions, here's what 5 is. It's the dice. Take the gamble. And think about it. It's a game. In order to win the game, for most people's normal mindset, in order to win the game, you got to roll the dice. You got to take a gamble. You have to take a chance on movement. You can't win Monopoly if you don't never move. But who said you got to play the game? So number 5, who said you got to play the number game? Whatever's ruling over you. That 2 and that 7. What you think you know, 2, what you keep on seeing, and 7, who you think you are. And we ain't even made it to 7 yet, even though we haven't made it directly to what 7 means, but whatever is telling me who I am runs my waters. This is the king of waters, the Leviathan. What is telling you what you need to know. So number 6. 6, in the sense of my numerology, is the field of infinity. It's the field where you can become anything. Remember, throughout this reading, it's been shown that all you want to do is maximize your potential. Let me see what I can become. 6 is the foundations for where you're going to make all those movements. So 6, by the divination of the ancients, is knowledge, the book of knowledge. But who wrote the book? That's the same question as how do you know 0 came before 1? Because there was already something there. Quickest way for the simple mind is, before you turn 1, don't you go through the increments of months and days to get there? You don't just born, I'm 1 year old. No, there was a precursor to it. Same way in numerology, whether you want to accept it or not. But what you know already got you fucked up. So what is 6? What you know already got you fucked up. Your righteousness, that 11. How I justify what I think I know versus what things really are, that middle ground in between is everything. What you know and what shit really is, everything in the middle is what it really is. You'll just justify trying to turn, like I said at the beginning of this reading, you'll just try and justify what you think you know by turning what things really are into what you need them to be. Self-sabotage. And why is it self-sabotage? Because that's not you, but you're going to force it. You're going to hit number 7. 7 is self-awareness. 7 is the journey. But what's the journey? I'm looking for myself. I'm going to go in the mirror and find myself. I don't need a mirror to find myself. I just need to verify that I'm already me. Sit my punk ass down and be still. Divinations of the ancients, vibration 7. The scrying mirror in reverse. No coincidences. Projection. When you look in the mirror, your image is projected. It's an image. It is what I imagine myself to look like by giving myself value to what I'm seeing. What you seeing to get you done up. Jedi mind trick. So number 7, by my cards, where we already hit this scrying mirror in reverse to see is all this shit is a projection. That shit you keep justifying. Number 7 by my cards. That shit you keep justifying. Your reasoning. That thought. 3, done already told you what to see. Number 8. 8, like I told you earlier, is really 2 zeros. It's really 1 0 that's been pulled apart. It's not 2 zeros. It's 1 0 looking in the mirror, trying to figure out which one of them is real. Neither one of them. But for shits and giggles in this flow right here, the divination of the ancients, 8, whereas it's the struggle, 8 becomes, whereas it should be enough, sometimes it's not enough. But what is the value for 8? It's the black cat in reverse. And again, it's good luck. It is, I'm just trying to find my abundance. My abundance was in the fact that I looked in the mirror and I saw an image. And if I didn't understand what it was, instead of going more into it to try and understand a value or establish a value, I need to figure out what I am. That plays out in human life. That plays out in relationships. That plays out in everything. You don't think you're enough, so you hire somebody to show you more, whether that's a government, whether that's a relationship, whether that's whatever. But the minute you realize that you are enough, you no longer tolerate things that put you in separation. So right now, you're not honoring your existence. Let's just say cats are deities. You don't even see the deification of yourself. You're out here trying to find something to deify. That becomes your struggle. 8. That becomes your struggle. Why? Because you moved. 5 in reverse. You become the Hierophant in reverse, which means you don't know who you are. Remember, the Hierophant knows everything. So you're already your first force of abuse. And then we'll end right here on 9. 9, in the sense of vibrations, is as high as it should go. If you're going on a journey into separation, 1 through 9, when you get to 9, if you haven't found yourself by then, by all means, stop. By the time you get to step 9, vibrations and sequences, everything else after 9 ain't gonna do nothing but do you the dirty, because it's going to require you to separate yourself on a whole nother level. 9 becomes 10. Holy shit, now there's 3 of me. The 1, the 0, and the 10. So 9 itself, in the sense of divination of the ancients, where it should be the highest vibration, if you have not learned to sit still, it's now the central force of control. Dreams in reverse, interpretation. And remember, I said at the beginning, I'm sorry, not interpretation, but incubation. Even worse. Incubation. You sleep. You're in an incubator dreaming about what this shit could become. Essentially, you looking in that mirror of yourself and you don't understand who you were before you start addressing that image, that shadow, and now you give up all your light. So now you have lost control over yourself by trying to find your vibration and what you help create. Number 9, you help create this. You help create it. You were the source of the leak. 1, 4, 5. 1 potential, 4 trap. It was a potential trap. Why? Because it's going to cause me to drown myself if I don't wake up. If I don't wake up from my dream and stop giving my energy into everything I'm seeing, I'm going to be the first source of the leak, and I'm going to be the weakest point of the flow. I'm losing my energy helping to create everything else that is only me in separation. Why? Because I was not strong enough to hold myself together. Hope that makes sense to you. So again, vibrations, I gotta be careful. Believe in what you want to believe. Use your own level of discernment. But if your level of discernment is based off of traumatic memories or traumatic functions or traumatic knowledge or bullshit that you think you know but can't verify, or if you can verify it but it ain't showing you what you want to see, stop verifying it and try something different. Wholeness.